Hello and welcome to the Collapse Experiment, to a video I was not planning on doing today, but considering the news, Jacob Chansley, or Jacob and Jelly, depending on whether you know him by his other name, his shamanic name, because he's the Qanon shaman. Also has a book under that name available on Amazon. You should go check it out. It's a very interesting read. Kind of reminds me of On a Pale Horse by William Cooper. But I digress, because after 27 months, the political prisoner of the Democratic Party has been released to a halfway house. After spending all that time, who knows how much time before he was actually sentenced. He also spent in solitary confinement, as they tend to do these days, because we are no longer a nation of laws. We no longer have due process. We have people getting shitty representation in court, while all the evidence is not shared to the defense. So, I want to thank Tucker Carlson for doing his job as a journalist, because not many people tend to be doing that these days. But yeah, it took Tucker Carlson receiving the actual documentation, the tapes of what happened on January 6th, to reveal that the state had no case. And what they did tell the public and try to use as a court of public opinion, it was all false. It was all made up. All of it. He was a peaceful protester who was allowed into the building, escorted by police. He thanked them, showed huge amounts of respect to the police officers. They respected him and his First Amendment rights, which is what we had heard for an entire fucking year before this bullshit went down. You have to respect BLM and Antifa. Oh, sorry, Antifa's just an idea. I slipped up there. But yeah, you have to respect their right to protest and burn shit down and ruin other people's lives because they just haven't been heard. It feels good. It feels good that he is out. I'm glad that he's out. This is somebody who served our country. He was in the Navy. He may have ideas that you don't particularly agree with or think that are weird, but that is part of living in a free country. We can have weirdos and people that wear buffalo hats and get funky tattoos and write strange books about conspiracies. Actually, it is very entertaining. But we're allowed to have that. And quite frankly, I am very, very pissed off that ever since our fucking idiot in chief came into power, notice I didn't say that he was elected. Once he came into power, it all seemed to have gone to shit. All of it. Whether it was him and his stupid idiotic ideas, or it was the governors who decided that the Constitution no longer applied because of a different variation of the cold. But this is where we're at. And it took one reporter to do his actual job to get a free man out of prison. They say he was released from jail. But here's what's also pissing me off. Jail is regulated for people who are convicted of misdemeanors. Misdemeanors are categorized as things that you do that have a requirement sentence of under a year. He was sentenced to 41 months. He was also stuck in a maximum security prison. So why they say he was released from jail, it's like, well, it really wasn't that bad that he was in there. It was just jail. You know, Andy Griffin, you can put yourself in your own cell. You're practically there voluntarily. These words matter. They know these words matter. That's why they choose them. The man was in prison. He's supposed to be there for 41 months. And finally, due to a lot of pressure from, it had to have been somebody high up, because they don't really give a shit about our opinions. But due to some type of pressure, he's now almost a free man. He's in a halfway house. But at least he's getting there. So, the last thing that I want to say is, I know Jacob Chansley enjoys writing a bit. The man does have a book out. And if he ever wants to write anything and have it published somewhere, well, the Collapse Experiment is available to you. Because here, it's just me, value free speech a little bit more than other people seem to. And can't say there's any money involved in it, but at least you would have a platform. Or I would encourage you to make your own. That's another thing that you can do. Go on to WordPress, make your own platform, write whatever stuff you seriously want to share with the world, and get it out there. Because we have a First Amendment, you have a God-given right, and if there's one thing that I've learned over the years, it's even when you are released from parole, they really cannot restrict you from speaking your mind. It's pretty interesting. That was something that I learned recently. I had to talk to my parole officer, but they said they couldn't violate my First Amendment rights. How did Chansley end up in prison? They violated his First Amendment rights. Yeah. Yeah. That is a lawsuit I can't wait to see happen. Because this country, this ship is sinking. It's already been plowed into the iceberg. It's like they keep looking for more icebergs while blaming the while blaming the passengers on the boat for like the horrible driving. It's amazing. The amount of inept people that are running this country. There's always an excuse. It's never their fault. It used to be the buck stops with me, and now they're like, a buck? You mean them things in the woods that you hit with your car? Yeah. These concepts don't exist anymore. There's always a damn excuse. And finally, there's no excuse. They let him out. He's I'm guessing on probation. But man, after all the shit that we've been hearing for the last couple of days, dealing with Nashville, all this other garbage, the fact that they're trying to go after another 1,000 people who are allegedly at or near the Capitol, finally, some freaking good news. Now maybe if they just drop all the other bullshit and actually go after some real freaking crimes around here, I could have some faith in this country again. But no, it's all about some weird fake ass image that really just doesn't, like, it doesn't matter to anybody else. Nobody else cares about your weird cultish little ideas of what is what is democracy, who the villains are. It's scary but fascinating at the same time what is happening. Because I don't understand it. I don't even pretend to understand it. But you have to be a member of the cult to really get it. Sorry, but I've been... I got out of that before it went drinking the Kool-Aid. So I don't know what their thinking is when it comes to this stuff. But clearly the Kool-Aid is being passed around. there's some new stuff that is being taught that I have no idea what these things are. I'm just glad that new doors were open to me a couple years ago, and I no longer have to submit myself to the bullshit of satisfying other people who really don't fucking care about you. None of these people who are doing this stuff care about you, even though they try to say it's all for your best interest. It's like going to an execution chair and the nurse is putting the needle in your arm and it's like, it's okay, it's for your own good. That's what the Democratic Party is. That's what the far left is. That's what woke is. And it looks like woke is going broke. And I'm afraid they're about to start panicking. So, congratulations to Jacob Chansley, the QAnon shaman. Glad to see that you're almost a fully free man again. Quite frankly, you should just be free. And Godspeed, sir.